Hey everybody, it's Dean. How are you all doing? Today is a special episode. I've got my brother here who's visiting from out of town.
Hello, I'm Greg. I'm here in place of Prog Dog, who he had to go out somewhere, and
He
yeah,
had some business to take care of, so
Yeah.
I called my brother up and said, fly down here and
yeah, that's right.
we've got an opening for you.
Fly 5 hours and take a ferry, and so
Yeah.
a day and a half later, here I am.
We kind of decided together that we would watch YYZ in Rio live, because I haven't seen this. Of course, I know YYZ very well. I used to play with a band even way back. So, but I haven't seen this video.
Yeah, it's a good one because a lot of it has to do with the energy of the audience.
Oh, okay.
It's and the band feeds off of it, and it is sort of a very sort of exciting. You can't compare Rio. Actually, I understand that Rio treats musicians from anywhere with the same sort of performance.
Right.
They really get into the music.
Yeah.
They love their concerts.
Yeah, we have some channel fans down there. If you're down there, leave a comment down below. If you've seen Rush, leave a comment down below and down there in Rio. That'd be awesome. Maybe you're even part of this video. I've had people do that. They've commented and said that they were in the audience during the videos. So.
Cool.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah, I never tire of that one.
Yeah, I know.
You know, what gets me is that the crowd is singing to an instrumental.
Yeah.
You know, like thousands of people singing
Yeah.
an instrumental.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's incredible. The other thing about this concert was that this was when Peart came back after the death. You know,
Yeah.
he took a hiatus after the death of his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
And he sort of had not interested in playing with the band anymore, and they gave him time.
Yeah.
This was the tour, I think, that he came back to get, and this was the concert that sort of welcomed him back.
Really?
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I believe I'm right.
Okay.
Maybe someone can correct me if I am.
Yeah, leave a comment below if you
But
know. Sure.
but this is if this is true, then it's a very warm welcome back.
Yeah.
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 But the Rush, the instrumental, the excellence on the tightness is it never disappoints.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a musician, like, all musicians know YYZ. They're all familiar with it. Everyone wants to learn it. It's one of those tunes that makes a great cover. And yeah, it's really bizarre in a way. You'd never expect an instrumental to become so popular and endure for so long too. It's still...
Do you remember the first time you heard it?
I do. I remember it was in St. Catharines. Of course, we knew Neil Peart was from St. Catharines. So
went to a high school near us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my brother's friend invited us. I don't know if he remembers, but we went into his basement. He had a stereo set up there, and he played the entire album, Moving Pictures. And I remember looking at it and listening to it, and that was really when I got into Rush. That experience of sitting and listening to this album, and I remember YYZ perfectly well. That was one of the standout tracks to me right off the bat.
Yeah, that was that was the point where I was basically a Rush fan from that point.
Yeah, because I think up to that point, maybe I'd considered Rush a little more heavier metalish, like they had some of the harder stuff earlier, like like 2112 is pretty metalish, and I remember I knew 2112, but this was, I think it's the keywords too, because I was really big on synthesizers, and I loved how it sounds so clean. I remember listening to it in this loud stereo, and it just a perfect meld with the Rush band and the synthesizers. I thought it was a really nice balance. It wasn't too much synthesizers. It wasn't the whole song. It just had that, accentuated that one part.
Yeah, what year was that? That would have been like 1980 or
80 or 81, I think.
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah, and you knew that, man, this band was gonna be doing a lot of more interesting work.
Yeah. And the fact that they were a hometown band.
Yeah.
And that they were this epic.
Yeah.
that was insane. Like I remember Toronto radio station, which was at 104
Chum FM or Q107.
They have this sort of best bands or best
CFNY.
Rock songs of the century.
Yeah.
Like they do this every year.
Yeah.
And based on votes, and so you had Led Zeppelin, you had the Beatles, and you had Rush, and it's like holy moly, like they are now like seen in an entirely different sort of level.
Yeah,
they really
That's
reached
true.
a sort of an epic point.
Yeah, the Moving Pictures really. It was a real high point in their careers for sure. It just sort of, it just surprised, I think, a lot more people, I guess myself too. I mean, I didn't get into Rush until then. When I heard that album, I just fell in love with Rush. And I think I didn't like Rush earlier because of Geddy Lee's voice, but for some reason this album just
I think
no
I
issues.
think what happened is this album sort of it made sense of the earlier stuff, because
Yeah.
after I got into this album, then I was able to listen to all the previous albums that led up to this in a different light. Like I
Yeah.
suddenly got it. I
Yeah.
suddenly got 2112. Why that
Yeah.
was a great album.
Yeah.
This was an important album for them.
Yeah.
I remember if you've seen that documentary, Rush documentary, Geddy mentions that their life changed at this album as well because of the fame. Suddenly their life had to change because people wanted a piece of them.
Yeah.
And they had people who were doing. It was weird, people felt like they had sort of owned part of you, like you're now important in my life, your music
Right.
is important to my life, now I need you to sign this. I mean
Yeah.
and Peart of course just sort of receded from all that activity.
Yeah, and I can see that, getting to know him over the years, what kind of a person Peart is. He's a very intelligent and thoughtful person, but
He's not a rock and roll guy.
Not at all.
No.
And yet here he is, most people agree he's probably the best drummer of the century. And if not the best drummer ever, I think he's, if he's not the best drummer, I don't know who else to say would be the best. He's definitely the top.
Well, I would say there's probably 100 people who are all crowded in that space, and we only know 10 or 12 of them.
Yeah.
And Peart, of course, is a god in drumming.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what sets Peart apart, I think, is the fact that he's writing the lyrics and he's part of the song composition. And you know how with music you listen to it, if there's a part missing, you'll know right away. His drumming is as essential as the bass notes, as essential as the vocals. Like Rush can't be Rush without Neil.
Well, and his drum fills are, they're essentially you cannot confuse his drum fills with any other drummers.
Yeah.
They're sort of that epic drum fill. That's Rush.
Yeah.
You're right. Like this band is like all three of them are so interconnected.
Yeah.
You remove one of them, it's no longer Rush, right?
Yeah.
It's something else entirely.
Thanks for watching the video, and I would love it if my brother were here for other videos, but he's just in town for a few days. So
until Prog Dog returns.
Yes, Prog Dog will be here again, and but if Prog Dog has to step away, we'll call up Greg.
Yes, I'll get on the next plane and they'll be over here.
So that's it. Spiraling out. You gotta do the spiraling out with me. Spiraling out. See you all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.